Hey guys, it's Diana. I wanted to show you guys how we make homemade ketchup. So ketchup is basically really condensed tomatoes. So I've been cooking down tomatoes from the garden. You're essentially going to cook all of the water out of it is how you make the ketchup. So I cooked it down for about almost a whole day, and then I'm putting it through my saucer here. So this is a manual saucer, and when you turn it, it just pushes everything that will fit through the holes, and so you can see it coming through there. That way we can get the skins out of the ketchup. I don't mind the seeds being in it. I just want to get the skins and things like that out. So I'm just working on this. I ended up with a whole 12-pack of ketchup out of this, so I'm pretty satisfied with that. It is a fancy ketchup. This ketchup calls for apple cider vinegar, cinnamon, just ingredients that you might not think are in ketchup, and that is because it is a fancy ketchup. It is really good. I almost don't consider it a ketchup substitute. It's more just a different type of dipping sauce, but it is very good. We had it with chicken strips today, and it was really good. It takes a long time to make ketchup. I've heard a lot of canners say they just don't bother with ketchup. The reason I do is just because it's kind of a set it and forget it kind of thing, like a crock pot meal. You just turn it on to simmer and you stir it every once in a while. And then I did have it cook for probably a full 18 hours, but like I was doing other things, I just came around, stirred it every once in a while, and watched it keep going down in level. So this is what comes out of the sauce maker. So you can see there's still seeds in it. And it ended up taking quite a bit of the bulk out. So what I did with that is I dehydrated it. And then I will end up using this. You can use it as a tomato paste. I don't find myself grabbing for tomato paste very often, so really never. So what I actually do with the tomato skins is I make like a seasoning. So what I plan to do is also mix it with some like celery, onions, and peppers that are also ground up and dehydrated. And then I can put it on my food that I make. There is like a McCormick seasoning that I used to buy that is the same thing. And it's like a roasted vegetable something. And that's where I got the idea. And I was like, I could make that with the things I'm going to throw away. So you just kind of spread it on your trays. And I ended up getting 5 trays out of this. So you think about that. That's 5 full trays of something I would have just composted. So we got those going. Those did go for a full 24 hours. So after I cooked this ketchup down some more, and I've added all of the other ingredients, the sugar, the apple cider vinegar, all of that, I am now blending it up smooth. I want it relatively smooth so that we can use it as a dipping sauce. So I spent quite a bit of time just blending this with my immersion blender. If you don't have one of these, they're a game changer when it comes to canning or big time cooking. Used to, we'd all throw batches into our blender, blend it up, put it into a different pot, pour a little more in the blender, blend it up, and move it to the pot. And it just was this whole ordeal. So the immersion blender definitely helps. So you can see how it's gone down a level even more. You can almost see like a juice at the top. And then when you go down in it, it's thicker. This is the dehydrated tomato peels. So I blended them up. If you do want to make like a seasoning texture, you do have to blend it for quite a while. You can see it came off in flakes, so some of the big chunks of it just got stuck in the top. I love this blender. And there we go. I end up getting this whole jar. You'll notice a trend here. I like to use reused jars for things that are not canning. So here my ketchup is finally done. You can see how nice and thick it got. Like I mentioned, I did end up getting 12 jars. I am using the recipe out of the complete book of home canning from Ball. I will link that down below. Of all canning books that I have seen or researched on, it does seem to have a lot more recipes than other ones. A lot of times there's a lot of pages that are like fillers and just maybe like regular recipes, but not for canning and things like that. And so if you are wanting to start canning, it's a good book to start with, or maybe you may never need another one. You can also find recipes on online from I forget what it's called, the National Canning thingy. I had just a little bit left, so I ended up having some with our dinner that didn't fit in these jars. So you want a 1/2 inch headspace. This is me just finishing the headspace. The headspace is the room between the food product and the top of the jar. Ketchup is a really good thing to can yourself. You can can it with a lot less sugar than store-bought ketchup. So it is, if you're trying to eat better but you like ketchup, it is a good thing to try. Here I am just cleaning the rims. I want to make sure we get a good seal. You want to place your rings on fingertip tight just to hold that lid in place. So here I am loading my canner. You do want to load it evenly, so that's why I grab 2 at a time so I can put them on opposite sides. It'll just make the rack fall into the water and kind of cause chaos if you don't. I do want to remind you that we loaded hot ketchup into hot jars and we're putting it into hot water. That way we don't cause shock to our jars and break them. While the ketchup was canning, I decided to can up some diced tomatoes. So what I actually do for these is I buy the big number 10 cans of diced tomatoes and I just divide them up into pint-sized jars because that's how much I use. Like if I make a chili or something, I just use 1 pint. And so it just, I'm buying it in bulk, so I'm getting it cheaper than buying individual cans. You do want to go ahead and add lemon juice to each jar. I believe it's a teaspoon, so I just put a little splash in each one. And so I just figured I'd get these canned up. This is something I usually do, like an easy canning project. I just do about twice a year just to get some more tomatoes on my shelves. I can get those number 10 cans for about $5, so it really saves a lot of money. And again, I heated it up, even though these are already cooked tomatoes, because I want to put hot product into hot jars. That way when it goes in this hot water, because our canner is going to be very hot this time, so I want it to all be hot. I do want to mention here, in case anyone asks about my apron, this is just a simple apron that I added a dish towel to. I just opened the dish towel up, sewed across, and folded it back down. And that just gives me a handy place to dry my hands off because I'm always washing my hands when I'm cooking or canning. This is me taking a pizza break. My man trying to keep me fed while I'm busy. And here I am again just cleaning those rings, or the rims, so that we can have a good seal. I'm going to put the lids on fingertip tight. If you haven't heard of fingertip tight, that just means where you're twisting with your fingers, not your wrist. In other words, it's not as tight as you can get it. It's just tight enough to hold that lid in place. I needed to fix the headspace on that one. And so these will set on the counter warm until that ketchup gets done. I'd like to take this time to say anybody can, and if you want to start canning, it's not as hard as you might think. It sounds complicated, but once you start understanding it, it's really easy. So if you just watch YouTube tutorials, read the books, the canning book teaches you a lot. The manuals that come with the canners teach you a lot. And then just doing it, there was a lot of questions I had that I couldn't find answers to online, and you just had to do it to really understand those things. You don't really know you have the question until you're there. So here my timer went off for my ketchup, so I'm just moving it off of the heat. I will always preach to you about siphoning, so I don't want to take these out of the canner immediately because that will change the temperature too fast and make the liquid boil or siphon out of the jars. And so I'm just taking it off of the heat. I'm going to let it sit there for a few minutes and lose some of the heat. And now it has been about 5 minutes, so I have lifted the tray that holds the cans up, and I am pulling them out. I'm setting them, you can't see here, but I'm setting them inside of one of my canning boxes on a towel. That way I can move them out of my way. It's so satisfying being able to can your own ketchup. To make it and to can it has just been a dream of mine for a long time, and I'm proud to say I've done it a few times now. So it's nice seeing those dreams come true. He tried the ketchup. He's obsessed with it. I think he tried it about 20 times while I was making it. This is the diced tomatoes going into the canner. Now, diced tomatoes actually have to go for 40 minutes. So compared to the ketchup, which only went for 15 minutes, it's quite the process. I really enjoyed making this ketchup with you guys. I hope that you enjoyed the video and that you'll give a like and follow. And I'll see you next time.